Hey guys, John Faulkner here with Survival Dispatch, and today I got Nikki with me.
In front of the camera.
In front of the camera. You guys always like, more Nikki, more Nikki. So, Nikki and I today are going to talk about personal information in the digital form.
And how to keep it safe.
And how to keep it safe. One of the things that was very interesting is last year it was determined that personal information was the highest paid for commodity in the world, surpassing oil. Which that means is people out there that want to make money want your information really without your approval. So there's multiple ways of protecting your information. And we're talking about that. It comes in many forms. It comes in what you carry on your wallet, your credit cards, your passport, your phone, when you're on the internet, when you're surfing anything on your phone, social media.
There's so much stuff that's on your phone that you don't even think is on your phone, but you enter it in an app, you enter your banking thing, and you enter your password, and there's a myriad of information that anybody can get off your phone.
Yeah, we used to get all of our information from rednecks and what shirts they wore, but now, it's all about the digital era, and it's one of those things where in your preps, just in a daily life, being able to stop people from being able to get your information can cause you a world of hurt. I mean, because I've literally had friends. I have a friend of mine that his 8-year-old applied for a home mortgage loan.
Nice.
His 8-year-old. Why? Because they were able to get his social security number.
But did he get a better rate?
Probably.
Yeah.
He's cute. But so we're going to talk about a couple different things that you can utilize to make sure when you're traveling. Nikki and I travel a lot. Nikki travels abroad, and being able to keep your information secure when you're using your phone, laptop at home, or just walking literally down
walking
a corridor.
Past someone. Yeah.
So, all right, let's start with. First of all, keeping your electronics safe. So we talk about this all the time, like a Survivetek Faraday bag. They're very, very small. Simply put your phone inside the Mylar static bag. That'll also help keep it waterproof. Fold it up, put it inside the bag. You'll lose all reception, but what is this also going to do, Nikki?
Well, that's also going to give you shielding against your internal antennas by putting it in the static bag. Keeps it in there, keeps it safe, blocks out the reception, and basically turns it into a black box.
Yeah, so anybody that was to have like an RFID scanner, anything like that walking by, what I do is I keep a small one of these in my backpack. It's with me all the time. When I travel, sometimes I'll put my credit cards in there. I'll put like my business credit cards and stuff in there. I'll put my passport in there so that people can get that information. And this just lives in my bag. And these also work well for keeping your radios safe or, ham radios, scanners, things like that, any type of electronic.
Yeah, I've got 2 or 3 of them that I just keep, PBS 14s, other kind of random stuff that I can just throw in there.
But what we're talking about is, and I have no signal now, but what we're talking about is keeping, your electronics and your information safe, and a Faraday bag is a great way to start with that.
And that's a great practical way of keeping signals from coming into the phone and also keeping signals from coming out of the phone.
Right.
Or your magnetic strip or anything else.
Right.
So it's not necessarily just used for shielding, for magnetic shielding, but it also is used for people who are actively scanning.
Scanning in and out, So, all right, second line of defense. For the most part, from time to time, we do have to plug into a wall outlet. External batteries might be dead, anything like that. And there's wall outlets everywhere in America. We all carry charging blocks just like this, and charging cables for your iPhone, your Android phone that look just like this. The problem with charging cables for your phones is they not only pass power,
but they also pass data.
They also pass data. And that's what USB cables are made for. They're made to charge your phone and pass data. And the thing is when you plug in this wall outlet, or a lot of times it's just a USB into walls now, you don't know what's on the other side of that wall, or if they have taken that cover off and done things to it.
Dumping all your data onto it. Yeah. So and that's why I always carry one of these too, because if at all possible I'm somewhere that's public that has the ability to plug in, I'll choose this.
Choose that.
Over USB wall.
But in most airports now,
they just
where all the
big
seats
banks.
are, big banks, charging, they just have USB plugs. So you can take things like this. This is a PortaPow. And what this has pretty much done is it's taken off the 3 pins, or 2?
I think it's the 2
that
pass data.
That pass data. So all this allows it to do is a electrical current.
Electrical current.
That's it, just to charge your phone. So all you simply do is just plug that onto your USB. Now you can plug it into any wall. It doesn't matter if they have a computer hooked up to that outlet. It doesn't matter. All it's going to pass is AC current. That's all it's going to provide.
Yep.
So I always keep one of these in my bag, just because my method when I travel, and I travel a ton, is I try to keep my external batteries as a last resort. So when I get to the next airport, I usually find a lounge or a seat or a restaurant, whatever there might be, or however long I'm going to be there, and I will find an outlet, and I'll try to top off my phone, or I'll try to top off my computer or iPad, whatever it might be.
And that's another good point too, is decharging when you're in a public space off your own personal batteries.
Yes.
So if you do have the ability to pull off a battery,
do it.
And then when you get to the hotel at night, plug in the battery, let it sit, let it do its thing. But if at all possible, you know that it's secure because it's your personal battery.
Right. So those are a couple, physical ways of protecting your personal information.
And before we segue, also one thing that I found is some of those little universal adapters that have like USB in and multiple different, they actually build those with only only power.
There you go.
So a lot of those multi-adapters, they only pass power.
And we'll leave links to all of these products below, so you guys can go straight to Amazon and buy them. They're not expensive.
No.
I mean, a Faraday bag is 20 bucks on Survival Dispatch store.
Shop.survivaldispatch.com.
There you go. He's better at it than I am. PortaPows I think are like $9.
Yeah, they're super cheap.
$9 for two.
Or you can get those little multi-adapters that's like $9 and you got every adapter you could ever need.
So, all right, so those are physical items that we can use. Let's talk about some digital items. Some apps and stuff.
One thing that I use, that I've been using for a while, is a VPN service. And what a VPN service is it allows you to connect to a server, and then all your traffic goes from your phone to that server. So if somebody was monitoring your traffic, they weren't saying, oh, look, he's going to Google, and now he's going to here, and now he's going to here.
And now he's logging into his bank
and here's this password.
And
it just looks like traffic that's directly encrypted to a VPN server. On the outside of that server, the world just sees everything talking back to that server. And a lot of the VPN servers have common IP addresses, so people know that it's a VPN. So there could be 1,000 people that are communicating on that VPN, but nobody really knows who they are. So it kind of anonymizes your data traffic. And then recently I've signed up for Proton VPN, which is, I've got Proton Mail. They actually are a really, really good encrypted mail service. I've moved away from Google, moved away from everything, all of that, because, it's free. Why not?
Right.
Well, why is it free? Because they want your data, because they're using it for advertising. I mean, they're not using it maliciously, ish.
Until their system or something gets hacked,
compromised, and
like
then
Disney
all your stuff
Plus
goes away. And did Disney Plus just get hacked?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, they were selling subscriptions for like $3 to multiple
on eBay.
people.
Yes. Yeah. I need to get one of those. But one thing that's nice about that is, your data traffic is directly into the VPN, directly out of the VPN. And with Proton Mail or Proton VPN, they also offer a service that's called Secure Core. And what Secure Core does is it's almost like the Tor anonymizing system. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before. It's a separate browser that uses a whole separate network of websites, and it totally anonymizes your traffic. So instead of this phone talking to Google, this phone talks to Switzerland, and then talks to Zimbabwe, and then talks to Chris Weatherman's Tor server, and then talks to Google. So Secure Core is similar to that, in where your phone communicates to their Secure Core servers in Switzerland, and then it bounces out to wherever else. So even if that VPN server, the outbound VPN server, was compromised, and then they could see where the traffic was coming from, well, it's coming from Switzerland.
Right.
It's not coming from your phone. So it's another level of stacking on there. Another thing that VPNs are good for is spoofing your location. So when I'm traveling abroad, I use a VPN to get back into the U.S., and then I've got access to all my U.S.-based content. Whereas if I was in Zimbabwe and I click on it, they'd be like, no, you're blocked from there. We're not going to use your system.
It would be things like if you were in China, you cannot get on Facebook.
Exactly.
Period. End of story. It's not allowed in China. You can't get it.
And they have their own flavored Google too. It's been filtered and flavored down. So you couldn't get full access to full data. So like if you had a Gmail account, you couldn't log into it. But if you VPN'd out to somewhere else that has the ability to do that, you could use that. So VPNs are a great feature to, yet again, secure your personal
information. And that's the biggest thing. It can cause just a world of headaches to have your personal information leaked, social security number, but even things of just your address, where you live. It's stuff that is just not what you want to have
publicly consumable.
Exactly. And listen, guys, wherever there's a list, the fact that personal information is so valuable now, that list is going to be sold. That's why you get so many calls from, I'd love to sell you insurance, credit cards, car stuff, no matter what, because that information is being sold. And if it were to get into the wrong hands, that's where you start to have a lot of issues. So some very simple products. And Proton VPN is...
Proton VPN has a tiered based pricing. There's a free one that gets you into a few servers. There's 3 tiers that get you... The first tier actually gets you into all the servers. So really that's all you need. The higher tiers allow you to do multiple concurrent devices. So like you could have it here and on your laptop and something else at the same time. And another thing that everybody hammers but nobody does is don't use one password for all your stuff.
Right.
Because then if that list got sold, which happened to me, not that I use one password for my stuff, but like there's a service called Have You Been Pwned? I'll post a link to it. And if you add your email address to that service, they have an entire like darknet scouring service that whenever a list gets sold on the darknet, they'll buy it, cross-reference it, and say, oh, your email address was on it. You might want to look at it.
Here, and here.
Yeah, you just got, this site got hacked, your email address is on it, and it's got your email address and your password, so go change that.
Right.
So that's a good service to have, but that happened to me where, I got one of those notifications, and I was like, oh shoot, I gotta go change that password. And then like 4 hours later, my phone was like, oh, you just recently logged in New Delhi, is that correct? No, I'm sitting in my office. Well, 4 hours between when I got the notification, it got sold, hacked, notified, and then somebody's already trying to log into my service. But because I had two-factor authentication turned on, which is another way of keeping your data safe, I could say, no, that's not me, and change that password.
Yeah, and that's one of the things too, a lot of times nowadays, people want to use like your Facebook login to log into more services. So if somebody somehow gets your Facebook username and password, they now have access
to every other one that you signed up for.
Exactly, and they are going to comb through, trust me, they have computers that can just comb through every single website, not every single, but tons of websites, common websites that have email and passwords, and that's what they're going to look for. It's the same with, guys, for the most part, we live in a digital world. I mean, we try to bank on our phone. We try to pay bills on our phone. It's what we live off of, so it's keeping that thing secure. Now, let's talk about when you're at home.
Okay.
We all have Wi-Fi nowadays.
Gotta have a Wi-Fi.
And, and like Nikki said, don't make your password password.
Yeah.
If it is, stop the video right now and go change it.
Exactly. Just pause and then come back. And another thing too is a lot of Wi-Fi routers have default passwords. And it's not password. It's like admin123 or something, or admin and password. Or a lot of those that you get from Best Buy, bring it home, plug it in. You're like, oh, my internet's working.
Set up.
Cool. I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, anybody that could get into that from the outside, they're just searching around, they're looking at IPs, they're like, oh, it's a Cisco blah, blah, blah router. What's the default? Admin, 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 admin. Bing, you're in. Oh, what do they got in their network? Oh, they got a Roku and Apple TV. Oh, they've got security cameras. Let's get into those. So having that, changing out those default passwords is super, super critical.
So I mean, that's just a little bit of how you can help protect your personal information. If you got any questions or comments with regards to this topic, feel free to leave them below. We'll definitely be around the next couple days to help answer those as well, and to help you guys, keep your information safe, because it's yours.
Keep it yours, not everybody else's.
Exactly. If you want any other, if you have any other wants or desires with regards to this topic, leave them below, and we'll do a follow-up video to it as well. And we'll also leave links to everything we talked about in the description so that you can find it real easy. We recommend all these products, or else we wouldn't be talking about them. We also use all of these products. I have Proton VPN on my phone as well, because Nikki told me I needed to do it, and I trust his opinion. So if you guys have any other questions with regards to gear, software, anything like that, make sure you let us know. Also, make sure you hit the like button. It really helps us spread the word with regards to Survival Dispatch. If you're not a member, check out the Insider as well for Survival Dispatch. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and until next time, be safe.
See you.